My session about the community engineering and overall our ecosystem, what's happening, what kind of tools we have, and most important, my message is about to emphasize how unique ecosystem all of you, belongs to, how big open source ecosystem in Magento and how unique it is. So there's a lot of open source projects, and on my keynote I mentioned talking with different open source organizations like Apache Foundation, big companies. We do something different and we're unique. As the difference is, as 2 years ago we decided to do significant movement toward our community, our contributing community. And we funded community engineering team. It was a small team. It was, we started with 4 people, I believe. And my idea was, we have a bunch of pull requests. We're ignoring it for a couple of years successfully. Community, trying to help, and we just blinded and can't do anything. Let's assign people and start just processing pull requests. Good idea, and we start doing it. In 2017, as soon as we started doing it in February, start rolling, it was pretty big, significant, number of pull requests start growing, and we're like, wow, it's like 4 people, 2,000 pull requests, and about 5,000 people, interacted with us, and we're like, damn, it's big. Then 2018 came up, and we realized 2017 was not so big as we were thinking about. It was triple down number of pull requests, engagements going forward, start a lot of more contribution, we started different projects, and we expanded to, I don't remember, 10 people. And we started already build very complex infrastructure about processing it. And this year, matter of fact, even growing bigger. So we have, by year to date, we already almost hit the same number of pull requests as we had last year. So it started going as avalanche, and we still successfully, working. Yesterday was event contribution day with tons of pull requests. But another interesting part, every year we have new contributors. New contributors, it means the people who never show up before and for the first time do pull request and create some, some code. So we cannot treat it as like 450 new developers, but it's nice to see for 2 years we have onboarding, keep onboarding new developers. And new developers start learning how to do, and I think biggest part of it is contribution day, different events, meetups go around. It's pretty significant number. So we have 500, and it was like a snapshot like a couple of weeks ago. But I think there were 500 already new people who first time did first contribution, and we hope and assume they're gonna keep doing it. We have our heroes, right? And you see different color Magento branded t-shirt here. So we have maintainers, we have contributors, and basically people we trying to mark in our community. So if you can see people wearing this t-shirt, it means they did already significant parts. They participate in events, they did contribution. If maintainers, the people who basically you can go and ask a lot of questions, because maintainers are people who we granted rights, who we recognize as, very active community developers, and most important, very quality developers, because we don't provide maintainership to anyone, right? We just literally cherry pick people, see what they did, how successful their pull request, what the acceptance rate was before we're going to say, okay, we want you to join this group of elite developers if you wish. At the moment we have 35 community maintainers. It's include, I think it's include also quality maintainers, right? We have 2 different groups and we'll share it. But these people, basically, they do a lot of work, a lot of efforts in order to work in this community in behalf of Magento. They process majority, not majority, but just like 2,000 pull requests, something was processed by maintainers who, if you realize, have daily jobs. They work on, they do on, assigned task, and majority cases they do it in their free time, which tremendous efforts. And that's actually when I explain people from different organizations, open source organizations, they don't understand how such volume can go and why maintainers agree to happen if we don't pay them. And believe we don't pay anyone, these people. Maybe beer sometimes. And we're still hiring, right? Recruiting, I would say, hiring is no proper word. So we right now recruiting quality maintainers. And quality maintainership is people who helping us to validate and scan backlog. As you realize, we have like every day about 50 or 60 issues posted in GitHub, and a lot of them require validation. We have a lot of automation tools, but we still need some person and some engineer to look and understand, oh, it's real issue or not, can it be confirmed before we're going to even take a look, or somebody from contributors can start working on it. So if you're interested, just drop us emails and we're going to talk with you. What else? And majority of you most likely working for partners. It's going to be solution partner, it's going to be technology partner, but some company who do business with Magento and developing Magento, customizing it. So we launched this contribution program where we're trying to reward, because we have special relationship with our partners, right? We have agreements, there is a lot of NDA, we provide code to our private repositories. And this company is just requesting to join. We start managing a group, and right now, I already said about 150 partners worldwide join this program, and they assign their developers do contributions. And also we do a lot of recognition stuff, right? So we have educational courses, Magento U coupons, which we spread across. First of all, definitely sharing knowledge. If partners exist and they ask us questions, we try and find architect, connect people, because our main goal not only accept contribution, but also educate developers properly, work with Magento, and also do develop Magento together with 5,000 other people. Contribution days. So I mentioned yesterday it's amazing event. It's hackathon basically. You can do whatever you want. Contribution day is called because we want people to focus. If you never try to create pull request and you're shy or you don't know how to do it, you need to help. We invite people to join these events, and basically I don't remember how many, like 30, 40 events worldwide happening in different, 2 weeks ago it was in Brazil, it was from Romania right here, yesterday was here in Kyiv. So any part of the world, there is contribution day organized by some meetups, groups, some teams, and it's amazing opportunity for developers to come, talk, share. Even yesterday I was in contribution day talk with guys who first time came, and they said it's pretty cool because I can meet people I never know I can meet and talk. It's smart people, majority of those people come to do some stuff, learn, and also share knowledge. I also can do some work which I never did before and learn new models, new implementation. We have different projects around. Or you can just try to create pull requests, understand fix. And it helps also in future in work, if you work with a client. And there is some problem in Magento. In majority cases, it can be an open source. You don't need to do patch, whatever. You can create pull request, merge, and don't worry about this bug anymore. And everyone gonna admire it and say thank you, because you're gonna help not only Magento, but entire community. We have a bunch of community projects running, right? MSI. And when I talk about MSI, it started last year, and it was idea when those times our CEO Mark Lowell we were sitting in India after another contribution day, and it was bug fixing stuff. We have this MSI project which we're trying to start in Magento twice. It requires us to help our engineering team to work entire year, and it's, as you realize, a very significant investment, which very hardly you can justify. We start doing it twice in Magento back here in Kyiv. Maybe you saw some pictures let's make inventory great again. It's like old joke. So after a couple of months we shut down this project because again overcomplicated and very expensive. So anyway, talking with Mark Lowell sitting in India, in Bangalore, bited by mosquitoes, he said, Max, why we don't try to do it with community? And first impression, it's a very complex project, require completely rewrite inventory system which root of Magento, checkout, shopping process. And it's require a lot of architecture changes and very smart changes. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. And it was a lot of pessimistic from people. So by the end of the last year, we already delivered MVP, and this year it was released as part of the core. And in 2.4, MSI gonna replace existing inventory. We deprecated all the inventory. So when you think about this, the scope of complexity and how it's been done, and it was from Magento, it was involved architects for review and one community engineer. Everything else was done by community developers, and we just prove how big Magento can be, right? Then we start going forward. There is async import with Alex Lezun leading, and it's also significant, changes how Magento data going to be transferred from SaaS service. And this project is proof of concept already done, and there is, start going forward. It was presentation you mentioned about stock. Again, let's start working with community. Why would we, let's see how they're going to interest in. And survey showed 22 merchants using stocks. It's a valuable project. So we launched it, and it's already going to, pretty fast. We didn't even expect, because Adobe Stock is still commercial part, but it's going very fast, and we already completed, phase 1 and working 2. In GraphQL, again, it's our next generation. This is how we're going to see Magento going to evolve using GraphQL as a basis. Without front end, right, connecting with our PWA. And what we're doing, we just split tasks between community and increase coverage. And it's going far, because community developers like to learn and also contribute on it. And with this, they learn this technology which Facebook actively promoting, and we use it, and it's a pretty cool one. We're very open, right? What we're doing usually, if you're going to see entire our backlog, product backlog, in GitHub. Architecture GitHub channel, when everyone from community can join and suggest some architecture, improvements, ideas. And we have these online meetings every 2 weeks, architecture council, when our architects join with all engineers, community who are interested, and discuss these changes proposed, and approve and disapprove going forward. Everything what you see, what we do in Magento internally, last 2 years we were moving in public space. We launched Slack, and when I started the Slack, again, 2 years ago, it's like few people was very pessimistic. Oh, Magento gonna, launch something in control. We said no, everyone can join. We don't have some, rules. You should be nice. You should not piss off anyone. But right now we have about 6,000 people, and chat very active. People sometimes ask me, can we do it, paid when we have history, because a lot of good conversation. I wish I can, but 6,000 people and pay like $9 per person every month. It's very expensive. And we also promote, ongoing collaboration versus somebody trying to scan history. And we have different tools like GitHub, where everyone can, drop information. We invest a lot of technology. If you realize, quality is biggest challenge when you open source product, right? If we work in quality internally, and we have paid employee in Magento, we can control. We can have checks. We have somebody looking. When you have 5,000 developers certified, creating pull requests into your code, and it's granular. It's not like one big task. Everyone do some incremental stuff. We require a lot of stuff and technology in place. So, and as a quality, we start looking, how we can clean up the backlogs. As quality maintainers, we have dashboard in place. We implement Smart Assistant, which is pretty cool and neat feature, which I like. And actually, when we share it internally in Magento, even core team was like, wow, we also want. And it's just do guidance. So we're trying to simplify for contributors interaction with GitHub and code to make minimal efforts from them, or at least do not do, repeatable step. Do something, what they need to focus, like create pull request or check code. And that's how it looks, right? If somebody create sign issue on a self, so there's bot gonna send guidelines step by step what you need to do, and you can just go click done this, does this, and by end of the day it's gonna help us to clarify issue valid or not. And also in order to check if this bug or pull request in our case also real fix or confirms this bug, We don't want you to spend time to spin up this instance, trying to find version. We do it everything for you using our cloud instances. If you're gonna write in Magento, give me instance 2.3 of Magento, within like few seconds, you're gonna have cloud instance, which is gonna run for a couple hours. Particular version when you can click, do everything. And if it's done by pull request is gonna be merged and spin up, so basically you can test it. So we don't want you to do it in a laptop. We don't want to run hundreds of different versions and check. We're gonna do it for you, and for only what you need, just confirm, yes, it's valid or not. Going forward, again, we start synchronizing our internal, and maybe you see all this Mage2 ticket in GitHub. What we're trying to do, make equal linking between internal ticket and external. What happens is, if GitHub issue close, somebody fix it, it's going to automatically merge and close in our Jira instance. And opposite, if core team close in Jira, we're going to close it in GitHub. So we don't want people to spend extra time on issues which already been resolved. Again, live triage and quality maintainers, what I mentioned. So we just try and onboard more community maintainers in order to help us to process these issues. We want to backlog of issues going down and down. Yeah, we also launch community portal, open source magento.com. That's where we want gather all information. It's still work in progress, but we'll gather information about all ongoing projects, all contributors, provide statistics, and for partners, most importantly, provide ability to manage their developers, add them in organization, remove from organization as developer leaves the company, and reduce, I would say, complexity and time to investigate what's happening. And there is a couple of slides from community portal. You see a list of projects, but also you can see analytics by different developers, and like Yaroslav and Matrix, maintainer, we can see how many pull requests he created, how many pull requests he processed, and all points which we count for him in order to grade top contributor per year, quarter, and month. Testing Magento functional framework, right? We want everyone to write quality code. We want to everyone, provide good services for clients. And we always, focus on sharing what we're using. And we think Magento functional test is the way how everyone should do. So we evolve this framework often. We increase population of our test. We're working on exploring and give access to entire our test suites, so everyone can look and help us even increase coverage. Yep. And as example for MSI project, we did it. Like we put all scenarios and we use heap test to show the scenarios, but also we link automation and everyone can see how many tests MSI has, how many of those tests automated, and we also can control quality. And you, most important, can reuse this test in your project and add this test if you need it. And we launched recently a project and call it Unified Automated Testing, or UNUM in our case. So when we decided there is still complexity exists between testing framework, and if you're a developer, most likely in a small company, you don't have access to extensive CI/CD environments. We have big stack of servers running all tests, and functional tests are very expensive and run because it takes a lot of time, and we spend $10,000 each day just to spin up. And we don't want to provide access to everyone. If before only test, you can see it was on Travis build, which publicly very limited, we decided we want to expose all our tests. And basically we launched this project successfully. And as a result, if you create pull request, all our internal CI/CD using our plugin is going to pull this pull request in our environment, run all extensive suite tests, and publish back to you in GitHub all results. So in this case, you just can use web browser to do development because we can spin up instances for you. We're going to run all tests for you. You don't need even powerful laptop anymore in order to do development for Magento. And as a result, you can download. And for example, from functional tests, also to all other tests, we have a little report. So again, we don't want to analyze long list of logs. We use tools which are visible, easily accessible. And as a result, after running test, you see it, and you can understand where your bug coming from, which test failed, and what you need to improve. It's a pretty neat feature which we were looking for a long time, and right now it's available. Marketplace. we have extension developers, right? And it's part of our big community. Even, majority, not majority, but good amount of the developers still contribute in the core, but we also want to, raise the quality of these developers. We also want to make sure marketplace extension has a quite high quality, and we keep investing in it. And by this, for example, only this year we have about 800 extension updates per month. So it means developers increasingly improve their extensions, submit new for review, and we have EQP program, extension quality program, which we evolve. Again, we have 264 new developers on the marketplace. It's new account registered in which trying to submit extension or do some business. And only like example for August, we have 16 completely new functionality, new extensions submitted to the marketplace. So it's pretty extensive ecosystem. We have a lot of traction relationship. We also want to invest in this quality. And as a result, recently we start with release page builder. We start add testing for page builder extensibility. If there extension exists and do some changes in page builder, it can be marked, and we're going to provide additional testing around it. Automation improvements, like we start scanning in marketplace extensions if there are MFTF tests exist. So if you create your extension and submit, and there is folder with test MFTF, we're going to detect it. And what we're going to do next, just trying to scan those, maybe run. We don't do it right now extensively, but we're trying to prepare our infrastructure in order to, in future, demand functional tests for every extension. So it's going to be mandatory at some time. Right now it's not, but we encourage people to do it. We start to do cloud extensions, cloud-specific compatibility, and as soon as you're going to see there is Magento open source, Magento Commerce, and you're going to see Magento Cloud. So if you're going to submit, we're going to validate on Magento Cloud this extension. We're going to do particular tests on our instances. If we create a Docker container in order to do it, and we're going to share it with everyone. So we want your extensions to serve not only open source or commerce, but our prime product is Magento Cloud. Yeah, we're going to work on extension highlights. There's going to be more stuff when we're going to scan extension, detect how many unit tests exist, how many functional tests exist, what else, like is performance going, is there a sample data. So we're going to highlight all this data and trying to rate an extension for it. So a lot of work happening right now in Marketplace, and all focused to raise quality of extensions and provide tools and ability for Magento Marketplace developers to provide good services for their customers. And yeah, what we're looking for right now is, if you don't start it, or you do sell an extension or publish extension, even for free, start create functional tests for those, start submitting those, and we're going to note number of extension, and we're going to look on this first in line. Yeah, going to end again. It's a lot of stuff, and as soon as we're on developer conference, right? We do a lot of stuff for entire community, and contributors, developers, and marketplace extensions. So it's a great time to be in this community. It's a great time to be part of it, and even looking forward how MageCONF increased last year, and this year even more people. I really appreciate that you came today, share it again, spend this time with value for you, talk with all of us, and with this, yeah, that's it. Thank you. And I have time for questions.
It seems like there is a great focus to the functional testing, and you will switch mostly to the functional, or there will be some integration and unit testing layers?
It's going to be all tests. We consider functional tests the one who provide validation of functionality if works, right? Integration test is check code, unit test check code. By end of the day, client which yourself not checking your code, checking how it works, and functional test is the one who can confirm it.
And do you have maybe in plans or existing facility which will allow to make some universal functional testing across multiple themes or custom implementation of the themes?
So it exists right now because we use locators, and if you change your theme, you use the same tags and the same locators, it's going to be the same, right? Design doesn't matter. So that's if you properly implement Magento themes to follow the same standards in UI framework as we use in our base theme. So in this case, you don't need changes. But if you're going to change, you can easily go and update locators with your framework.
You mean, okay, to expand, I'm a manager, not developer, so maybe that would be a stupid question, but so basically you are using page object pattern to organize pages and to have single area where you can adjust things that locators write, but you don't have any specific facility in terms of locators, for example, specific classes which are oriented to functional tests only.
No, because functional tests shouldn't, I mean, you should not develop Zim for functional tests, right? Functional tests should test your stuff. It's going to be a session, but I think later after me about MFTF framework itself and tricks. I think it's going to be helpful to go see people explain exactly how it works, and you can ask specific question about this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Could you tell a little bit more about contributor partner program? So how to attend and something like that.
So
let's give another question. My company was in the list on your slide, and I want to have a contributor label on my pull requests. How to do that?
if you create pull requests, you already have contributor label. You don't need anything.
I mean partners contribution label.
So it means your account GitHub should be associated with organization in GitHub with your company. If it doesn't exist, you can send email, because if you have account, it should be linked to your company. As soon as link, you're going to have the partner page. Yeah.
Hi, regarding partner contribution program, how do you encourage new companies to join in? Any planned surprises for them?
How to encourage is a very good question. I basically have been going around and asking them to join. It's a voluntary program, right? So but there is associated benefit with this. First of all, why it's called partner, because it should be solution partner, Magento partner official, right? And we're going to provide access to private code. And also, if contributors given, like Atwix, let's talk about Atwix. One of the benefits we're given during the Imagine Begin conference, they got Partners Award about contribution program on a stage, so it's promotion marketing, right? Second, we also provide some marketing advantages for top contributors, like by quarter. So we're working with our channel team who are responsible for managing partners. So they have some benefits to these partners. So there is benefits associated. There's also, being enlisted, and as you mentioned, I mean, somebody mentioned my company, their promotion, but also, for partner as a company, because a lot of contributors work, a lot of developers from partners working and do contribution, it's going to be a shame if they not mark, oh, it's our developers, right? So that's how it also can work. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, anyone left with his question unanswered? Okay, since not, I believe we should thank once more to Max for his speech.
Thank you very much.